Have you ever heard of Robert Donat? He was the soft-spoken British actor whose voice could melt hearts, and who won an Oscar over Clark Gable's Rhett Butler. From a childhood speech impediment to international stardom, and from iconic roles to heartbreaking health struggles, Robert Donat's story is full of talent, tragedy, and timeless triumph. Let's uncover the life of the man who was nearly lost to history, yet shaped British cinema forever.
From every point comes news of hope. We can say at last without fear that the end is in sight. But even in victory, we have cruel news to bear.
If you love classic Hollywood legends and forgotten gems from cinema's golden age, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep their legacies alive together. Robert Donat was born on March 18, 1905 in Withington, Manchester. He was the youngest of 4 boys and came from a family with both English and Polish roots. But young Robert had a major challenge, a debilitating stammer. This speech impediment might have silenced his dreams had he not met elocution teacher James Bernard. With rigorous training, Donat not only overcame the stammer, but developed one of the most distinguished voices in British cinema. By age 16, he was already acting on stage, and by the 1920s, he was touring with repertory companies, honing his craft in Shakespearean roles. He continued practicing elocution exercises throughout his life, fearing his stammer might return under pressure. Donat made his film debut in Men of Tomorrow, 1932, but it was his role as Thomas Culpeper in The Private Life of Henry VIII, 1933, that brought him widespread attention. The film was a global hit, and Donat's romantic subplot added youthful charm to Charles Laughton's towering lead. But his breakthrough came in Alfred Hitchcock's classic, The 39 Steps, 1935.
So listen to a bit of advice. From now on, do every single thing I tell you to do, and do it quick.
You big bully.
I like you, Clark. Come on.
IMDb 7.6. Donat played Richard Hannay, a man wrongly accused of murder who's pursued across Britain by both police and spies. His blend of intelligence, wit, and understated bravery made the film a major success and established Donat as a leading man. Hitchcock praised Donat's charm and naturalism, and audiences were captivated by his effortless screen presence. This film influenced later thrillers like North by Northwest, with Donat's everyman role becoming a template for future heroes. That same year, he showed his comic timing and dual-role talent in The Ghost Goes West, playing both a Scottish ghost and his American descendant, a whimsical performance that demonstrated his range. In Night Without Armor, 1937, Donat played Ainsley J. Fothergill, a British spy in revolutionary Russia protecting a countess played by Marlene Dietrich. The film blended espionage, romance, and adventure, and Donat's chivalrous portrayal added gravitas.
If by what has been called my infamous conduct, I have done anything, however small, to benefit humanity, I am more than proud, gentlemen. I am profoundly grateful.
Then came one of his greatest performances in The Citadel, 1938. IMDb 7.0. He portrayed Dr. Andrew Manson, a principled young doctor battling corruption and personal compromise in the British medical system. His transformation from passionate idealist to disillusioned professional and finally to a man who finds redemption was powerfully authentic. This earned him his first Oscar nomination.
I gave him 1 mark for Latin translation, and he exaggerated it into a 7.
But it was his role in Goodbye, Mr. Chips, 1939, that immortalized him. IMDb 7.8. Donat played Mr. Charles Chipping, a reserved and awkward schoolteacher who devotes his life to a British boys' school. Over the course of the film, he ages from a young man to an 83-year-old, capturing decades of love, loss, and quiet triumph. His performance was so moving and sincere that it won him the Academy Award for Best Actor, defeating the likes of Clark Gable and James Stewart. Donat didn't attend the Oscar ceremony. He never thought he'd win. His makeup, voice modulation, and emotional control across a 60-year age span remain one of cinema's most nuanced performances. Donat married Ella Ansley Voisey in 1929, early in his acting career. She was a stage actress, and the couple had 3 children together, 2 sons and a daughter. During the early years of their marriage, Donat's star was rising rapidly, especially with his success in The 39 Steps and Goodbye, Mr. Chips. However, his growing fame, long filming schedules, and chronic health issues took a toll on their relationship. By the 1940s, the marriage was under significant strain. His periods of illness, paired with a deepening emotional distance and Donat's tendency toward melancholy, led to their eventual divorce in 1946. It's said that while they respected each other, the emotional demands of his condition made it difficult for him to maintain the connection. In 1953, Donat married Renee Asherson, a respected stage and film actress. By this time, Donat's health had significantly worsened, and his asthma was often debilitating. Renee stood by him and tried to support him through his fragile condition. Their marriage was marked by deep affection, but also sadness, as Donat's recurring health crises made emotional and physical intimacy difficult. They eventually separated shortly before his death, though they were reportedly still close and remained fond of each other. Renee once said of him, "He was not made for this world. He was too gentle, too sensitive." Throughout his life, Donat suffered from chronic and severe asthma, which affected both his professional and personal life. The illness often caused interruptions in his career. He would sometimes sign onto a film only to drop out due to breathing difficulties. Major roles in Rebecca, Wuthering Heights, and Gone with the Wind were among those he had to turn down. Privately, this was a source of deep frustration. Donat often feared being seen as unreliable, even though he was intensely committed to his craft. Friends noted that when his health allowed him to work, he gave everything, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Donat was known as a kind, modest, and deeply thoughtful man. Unlike many actors of his generation, he avoided scandal and rarely gave interviews. He was not interested in fame or attention and found the Hollywood lifestyle exhausting. He preferred the English countryside, literature, and close friends. He had a self-deprecating sense of humor and was often the first to downplay his achievements. Colleagues described him as a gentleman actor whose decency shone both on and off screen. Despite his preference for privacy, he had deep friendships with fellow actors like Ralph Richardson and was widely admired by contemporaries such as Laurence Olivier, who once remarked that Donat had a warmth and nobility no one else could match. Donat returned to the screen in the 1950s with fewer, more personal projects.
Now then, where are you off to?
Come quickly, come on, come and see.
Now, just a minute. What is all this?
No, come and see. I've got something to show you. Something I've done. You must come and see.
Something you've done?
Yes, come on, and I'll show you. It's only a little way. You see, I've only just this minute done it. I was frightened, I don't mind telling you, frightened out of my wits, but I've done it. And though I dare say it's very foolish of me, I feel I've simply got to show
In
something.
Magic Box, 1951, IMDb 7.0. He portrayed William Freeze Green, a forgotten pioneer of cinema who sacrifices everything for his inventions. This heartfelt biopic paralleled Donat's own fading health and yearning for legacy.
We shall not see each other again, I think. Farewell, Jenna.
His final and most poignant role came in The Inn of the Sixth Happiness, 1958. 7.3, Donat played the Mandarin of Yangcheng, a Chinese official who eventually supports the missionary work of Gladys Aylward, Ingrid Bergman. Though visibly ill, he performed with quiet dignity and warmth. His final spoken line, "We shall not see each other again, I think. Farewell," echoed both the characters and Donat's own goodbye to the world. He died shortly after filming on June 9, 1958, at just 53, from a cerebral thrombosis exacerbated by years of asthma. His last line in the film was rewritten to reflect his real-life farewell, a moment that brought cast and crew to tears. Robert Donat didn't make many films, just over 20, but his influence is monumental. He helped establish British cinema's global credibility and showed that actors could be powerful without being loud, magnetic, without being brash. Though his filmography is smaller than many of his contemporaries, Robert Donat's impact is enormous. He brought intelligence, depth, and tenderness to every performance. His influence can be felt in the work of later actors like Peter O'Toole, Ian McKellen, and Derek Jacobi, who have all cited him as a formative inspiration. His Oscar win was a victory for subtlety, character depth, and emotional honesty. He is remembered not just for what he did on screen, but for what he stood for: integrity, artistry, and humility. He once said, "The camera is my enemy," reflecting his lifelong preference for the stage, but it was on screen that he achieved immortality. Donat was posthumously honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and Goodbye, Mr. Chips remains a staple of British cinema history classes. Robert Donat may not be as widely remembered today, but his legacy endures. He embodied a rare blend of gentleness, intellect, and emotional truth. He was a gentleman on screen and off, and his work continues to inspire. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more in-depth stories of classic Hollywood legends, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, what's your favorite Robert Donat performance?